Okay, so as you can see, we're going to be creating this melting clock, like a Dali watch. So let's jump straight in. So you might want to download the face for your clock as well. Just save any image. It could be whatever you want. It could be with hands, it could be Roman numeral faces. You just want a clear face. Anyway, let's get started and jump into Blender. Just going to delete everything. Let's start building our clock out. So we're going to start with, let's start with a cylinder. Let's make our clock face, and we'll scale this down like so. I want it kind of chunky, a little bit chunky, and I'm going to go tab into edit mode. So I'm in edit mode, select this top face, I'm going to inset it, and I kind of want a nice thick frame. I don't want it, like, if you look at the image, it's quite thin. It's quite thin, but I kind of want it slightly chunky, just a bit more, you know, thickness to it. Anyway, extrude along normals or extrude region, and you can just kind of push this down. You can choose how far you want it to go down. Maybe here's okay. And we got a watch. I'm going to say shade auto smooth. Now I want to bevel these edges a lot, so it's very rounded at the top. So I'm going to select this edge loop and this outer edge loop, right click, bevel edge. Now you'll notice it doesn't do the bevel as we expect it, so come out of edit mode, go to object, Control A, apply those transformations. Now when you go to apply the bevel edge, you see now it behaves more better. I kind of want them almost touching like that, and then when I increase the segments, it will go very rounded. There we go. And you can kind of play around with that spacing. I'm happy with this. So that's a very rounded edge there. And then also maybe want to round off this edge here. Just a tiny bevel though, not as many segments. So right click, bevel edge. Now you can choose to have it rounded, but I want a few, very few. Maybe 4 is fine. Now, if let's rotate this up, okay? So we want to kind of it on its facing standing up. So it's facing us on the X, okay? If I go to N, if I press N, just type in 90 just to make sure that value's there. And I can set this to 0. Oh, actually I can move this up, say to 1, there we go. That should be on the grid. Looks okay. You might want to add a subdivision surface modifier to this. You know, if you want to add, we will want to do that. So I'm going to add this in. There we go. Now this inner face here, I'm going to select this inner loop. So you can see I have this loop. So I'm going to deselect that. So I'll select this inner face. I want to just inset this once. There we go. And then inset again. Scale it in. And one more time. There we go. Let's take a look. That looks a lot better now. That edge there on the inside looks a lot better, and we don't have that pinching. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's add the little dial on the top. So we can just start with a torus. I'm just going to leave it as default, and then just shade auto smooth. Actually shade smooth, not shade auto smooth, and scale it down. Move this up like so. And it just kind of just sits there, and I'm just going to copy and paste, make a second one. There we go. So we've got 2 of these. And then we're going to add the little dial, which will be we can use what can we use? Let's use another torus. Let's use another torus. Let's just use this one. Let's zoom in, copy this, paste, duplicate, scale it up. This time we're going to just increase the height on this, on the Z, sorry. Okay. And let's fill this hole. So let's kind of delete these inner faces so we can kind of fill it in ourselves. Of course we could have I'm just gonna edit this one. So I'm just select these inner faces like so. I'll select this one too, and then delete faces. Boom. Now if I select this top edge loop, oops, there we go, and then I press F to fill, and the same at the bottom, F, there we go. Okay, now I want to do one inset on this. So select this face, inset, like so, and move this in. And let's select these loops here. So I want to select this loop, every other loop. So I want to kind of skip. You can kind of, oops. If you do select, you can just shift and alt shift and select it again to deselect it. Take your time. You know, don't need to rush this. I'm just gonna click for it a bit quickly. If I do make a mistake, I just do it. Now what I do want to do is hold shift, and I don't want to select these ones here. So I don't want this top ring, this top edge. I want to leave that alone. So I'm gonna deselect just these edges at the top. Kind of just deselect them. Okay, and then just press S, and then S to scale out, and then we kind of create that look. And I'm going to move it down on the Y. There we go. And we've got that kind of dial look. Now if we apply a generate subdivision surface, now we get a nice round look. And of course you can play around with that shape a bit, maybe scale it in. It doesn't need to be perfect. There we go. We have a kind of a watch. It's a bit over exaggerated, but it's a watch. Now I'm gonna apply a second one to this, and then apply this, and what I want to do is just join all this up. Join this up as one object. Join. Okay. Oh. Make sure I apply that subdivisions. There we go. Then I'll just make sure, like I said, join all these up. Join. Now we have one object, and you can call this one a watch. We also do want to have to add some hands and stuff. So let's add some material first. Let's, you know, so we can start to come together. Right now we're just in EV. That's fine. Just turn screen space reflections on. Let's add a material. Let's kind of give it that gold color. So there we go. When we make it metallic and bring that roughness down, there we go. Now the face, we want to add another material for the face, so you can rename this gold, and then new material, call this face watch or watch face. I kind of went backwards. Alright, I'm gonna click on color. I'm just gonna load in the image texture and say open, and I browse to where my file was that I've saved of this clock watch. Now this the clock face, not clock watch, clock face. So that's applied to my base color. Now you can't see it here because we haven't assigned this material to any face. So with that face in the, if I select, let's say I'll just use this circle select and just select, I don't know, select this inner circle here. If I grow that selection, Control plus on them to grow the selection, something like this, and assign this texture to it. Now of course we haven't done any UV mapping to this, so all I'm going to do is just with those selected faces still, just make sure I look at it head on, easiest way, and then project from view. So we're projecting from view. Then go to UV editing here. You can see now we can kind of scale this up. Anyway, and position our UVs to kind of match the texture. So yeah, wasn't too hard. Not perfect, but there you go. Now we have a watch face. If we go back here into our layout, so you can see, and maybe you want to play around with the materials, make that a bit more less rough, you know, entirely up to you, tiny bit metallic. But yeah, now you can see it's a lot more glossy. There you go. And then of course, if you want, you got a lot of more options. You know, you got, don't forget, you can put maybe a coat on there or sheen or whatever you want. Add like a tiny sheen on this, roughness. There we go. Give it a different color maybe. It's up to you what you do. Play around with the materials. The look that you want, maybe that's too much, but there we go. Kind of like that. But yeah, play around with the materials. And then you notice that pinching up here. And I'm going to select these faces here. Control plus, and then what I'll do is actually right click. Where is it? Shaded. Shade flat. Let's see that. Shade smooth. No. What can I do to fix that pinching? Because I've kind of ignored that, but maybe I can just go into sculpting quickly. And can I shift to smooth this out? Yeah, kind of. Just holding shift. Not perfect, but yeah, it gets a little bit. That's kind of maybe worse. Don't do that. Anyway, if I do find a solution for that, or think of one, I will fix it. I think it just needed the edge loop here. It could be just the edge loops, but I've kind of already applied everything. And I've got too many vertices. I can see why it's doing it, the weird pinching. Or can I just do this? Delete face. Select this inner edge. I'm just thinking that at the top of my head. Off the top of my head. Select this outer inner loop. There we go. So we've got that F. And what happens if we say, where's it? Where's shade? Oh, make sure that, there we go, shade smooth. Or shade flat. There we go. That's better. We don't have that pinching now. Now you might want to go in here and add a bevel or something. I don't know. Yeah, let's add a bevel in here. Just to, because it looks kind of weird. So I'm just going to bevel edge. And bring that down to 1. And then extrude along normals. And just bring that down a tiny bit. Like so. Select this edge here. Bevel edge. And then let's set that to like 3. There we go. If I set shade auto smooth, nah, just leave that as it is. That's better than it's before. I don't have that pinching. Anyway, let's add some hands. Sorry, I went off topic. Oh, my watch alarm's going off. Sorry. Time for me to almost go for my walk. Anyway, we want to add some watch hands. Let's just use a mesh plane. Let's stand this up. Boom. Set this to 90. Now you can spend time designing the hands of your watch. I'm going to actually go into edit mode while it's in this actual while it's at 000 centered. So if I go edit mode, now move this up. It's kind of like there's the pivot point, so I don't need to do anything. Just gonna move this so you can see this is kind of like the pivot point. And then I can scale this hand down, so I'll select this top edge. So this is the big hand, for example, that we start with. We can kind of scale this in. Let's take a look at it from the front. So this needs to be more centered. So, back here. Bring this down. Okay, I'm happy with that. Apply a new material. I'm going to make this black, and I will make it slightly rough. There we go. We need to subdivide that, so I'm going to right click, subdivide. Oh, I want to go the other way, so I'm going to just do edge loop, the loop cut, sorry, and increase this count. We need a lot because it's going to kind of melt, so we're going to bend this. Let's say 50. Okay. Just round it up to 50. There we go. Now I'm going to go to modifiers, apply a solidify. There we go. I'm also going to apply a bevel. There we go, and just increase that count. That'll do. Right click, shade smooth. We've got a hand. Now you can apply these modifiers, so I'm just going to apply them. And then all I'm going to do is duplicate this, Control C, Control V. So now I've got a second hand, and then you can of course rotate this and, you know, change the scale. So this could be the hour. This one's the hour, one's the minutes, and then the seconds. So copy again, paste. This one could be longer and thinner, and whatever time you choose. Oops, make sure you go on the right rotation. There we go. It doesn't need to be perfect, but yeah, as long as you're happy with it. Cool. So we have a watch. Now what I want to do is also join these hands to the watch and say join. So I just want it as one object. Now this is one object that can move together and distort it together. And we're going to use the curve tool. So we're going to use that to distort it. So let's add the cube. This cube will go. This is what we want the cube to kind of fold around. And what can we use? Let's just use. I'm going to go into plane. Okay. I'm going to rotate this plane so we're looking at, so it's facing us 90 degrees here. Okay, I'll start with this plane. It's probably the easiest way to do it rather than draw a curve. Move this up. Okay, and go to edit mode. Delete this bottom edge. Boom. Delete edge, which will just leave us with these edges here. I'm going to these vertices. Like so. Select this one and this one, kind of move it up. If we look at it from the side, and all we want to do is, oh, let me select box select, because I prefer box select. So there we go, move there, and then move this up, move these together actually. There we go, bring this in, and this goes down. There we go. I'm gonna adjust this after. Okay. Oh well, we can animate this. Maybe we'll create a loop or something. So I'm just gonna extrude this out. And one more. There we go. And do the same on this side. Extrude out, and just have one more point there that we can play around with. Cool. Let's convert this. Let's convert this to a curve. There we go. So now what we're going to do is click our watch, make sure we set this to 0, okay, and then press Ctrl A, apply all transformation, so now everything's zeroed out. Now when we add the modify deform curve, our curve will be this plane, yeah, and it's going to say which axis. We're going to try the Z, and let's just move this up in the Z and see how that behaves. So no, it's not the Z. Is it the Y? There we go. It might be the Y. It's the Y, but we're gonna have to change this rotation. So it's not on there. Just kind of trial and error. Oh, I kind of went out of shaded mode there. Not trial and error. I don't know which direction is. Okay, there we go. So set this to 90, and we know it's on the Y, not on the Y. It's on the. So move this Z value. Yeah, Z. Okay, there we go. And we've got this kind of clock that's warping or distorting, should I say. Let's put this to 0. There we go. You can scale it down a tiny bit. And it's kind of folding around this box and melting. Ooh. Now we can probably create a looping animation, so you just kind of loop this and it kind of, but it kind of looks flat, right? Doesn't look perfect because our curve is very you know, the edges are very boom boom boom, so we're gonna kind of fix that. So let's kind of put this on the bend here. What we can do is select this, this out, move this out. Now where are the where's the handles for this gone? It's the question. Can't see the handles. That's the rate and radius. Nope. For some reason I can't see the handles. Oh, there you go, fillet. Okay, it's called fillet. There we go. Okay, we'll do this and then just this. That does look much better. And then this one. Bring this down. Like so. Same on this, I guess. Oh. There we go. That looks a lot smoother there. Fix this bit here. That looks a lot better. So fillet, whatever they call fillet. We learned something new, or I learned something new. He's probably all need this. Anyway, we learn together. Or I learned. Anyway. Let's add a subdivision surface to this, see if we can add more resolution in there. So just go generate subdivision surface, and we'll probably place this above our watch. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Should have done this before, but yeah. I mean above the curve. Let's see if this helps add more resolution in there. And move these points. There we go. Kind of took this one up slightly. That looks a little bit better. Maybe scale it down a tiny bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna add the ground plane. Oh. Okay, all we want to do is animate this, of course. So what you can do is we just animate this frame here. So I kind of don't want to see the back too much. I guess it's the way you frame it. So let's go to vertical split. Let's add a camera. Let's change this. Let's go 0 home. Let's change our camera properties. Let's do something different with the resolution. Let's do a portrait 1080 by 1920. Now we have a portrait camera. I'm gonna press view here, camera to view, and kind of move the camera position where I want it. Let's I've got orthographic. Let's try maybe that. Actually, I don't mind it going off. Let's see. Let's click on the watch. Let's take a look. So it kind of slides in. That's that. Slides out. Then it will repeat. Then again it loops back, and then just go on the loop. Maybe that'll work. There we go. So I kind of like that. We can light this after in cycles or whatever we want. But let's do the keyframe. So let's go to our start position. Let's just off frame here. Insert a single keyframe. Go to the end. Boom, 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 boom. Now it's off the frame, so it's off camera again. Insert a single keyframe. Hit play. I don't know why the FPS is struggling, but yeah, there we go. We have a melting watch. Great. So let's kind of light this up, and this goes, it will loop. So if I press play from here, go back to the beginning and loop. Okay. So let's kind of light this, like I said. I'll turn the gizmos off here. I'm gonna click the camera and just do viewport, passport out, so now we can see that's what we're looking at. Now at this point you can choose to, make sure you save your project. Watch. I'll save that as watch. You can choose to highlight this and color this however you want. You don't need to follow me at this point. I'm going to be using some of the assets I already have just to save me time. So if I go to my asset browser, horizontal split, boom, 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 and change this to my asset browser. Got a couple of HDRIs I can try. So if I got all. Let's go for one of these kind of environments. Make sure you change this to cycles. I forgot to do that. And switch to GPU. Denoise this. Let's change that, and we should see something. Now you can play around. You can drag and see which ones you like. I can already see the ground planes. I want the ground plane to be. Yeah, there we go. Just move that. Now the cube looks like it is floating. So bring this down. Just a tiny bit there. Let's see how that looks. Oh, nope. So I mean, on the cube it's fine. It's on the ground plane, so this still needs to come up. I kind of Mess that up a tiny bit. There we go. Tiny bit. I'm just adjusting it so it doesn't look like it's floating too much, but there we go. Okay, so like I said, we add some environment. Then you can rotate this to something you like. I'm gonna rotate maybe kind of like that. I like this. There we go. And I'll just do a go-go light. I won't even put any materials on that background. I kind of like it just being white. Ain't gonna lie. So for some one of these abstract ones, drop this in the scene. Boom. Oh, I have to come out of object mode for that to work. There we go. Boom. Place this light in the scene. And if I increase the count just to bring that strength up, there we go. Bring this out to the side, so I just rotate this. Radius. Oops. Oh, no. Maybe that is too strong. Let's see how that looks. I like that. It's very subtle, but it's clean. Ba-bum-bum-bum. Maybe no, I'm not happy with that. Could add color to it, but I was like maybe a slight tint. I don't know. Press. Let me join this because you don't need to see my asset browser anymore. Let me press this to 0. Sorry, I'm kind of messing around with this. So the 0 in here. Kind of like that, but it's very strong. Can I break down? Yeah, I can bring that strip down. If I go here, can I rotate this? let's see how that looks. Sorry, I'm being very picky. At this point, you don't have to follow along. You can kind of end it here, or do whatever you need. If you just wanted to render still, you could do that as well. Maybe I don't like this facing from. That's a little bit better there. I'm happy with that look there. I don't like this bit here. Kind of floats over the top. Sorry. There we go, that looks a lot better. Okay, that's it. I'll end it here. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your night, day, morning, wherever you are in the day. I'll go for my walk now. Bye bye.